Welcome. It's SVPod with Stanford Steve. I am Scott Van Pelt. This is a podcast. People are probably mostly listening, but for those that are watching, I'm in this black suit today because I was at a memorial service this morning, and off the top, I just want to send on behalf of, I know, you and me, our condolences to the family of Bill Dolan, who passed away. Tom Dolan was a guest on our show, on our podcast, Olympic champion, gold medalist, absolute badass.
As impressive as there is of a guy. That's all I'll say. Like, that guy is a man.
And any way,
no matter how you look at it.
And any way you can carry yourself in terms of accomplishment, how to act, how to be, well, Tom Dolan's that dude. And he would tell you, I'm that guy because my dad Bill was that guy. And this morning I was over in Virginia. You've never seen a ceremony filled with more people to celebrate the life of this man, who was a giant in many respects. Anyway, I just want to, off the top, to a past guest on this show, and as you said, Steve, perfectly, as impressive a cat as you meet, his podcast with us about youth sports and about how it's absolute stupidity. And this is a guy who was the guy, stood on top of the medal stand, telling all the parents out there, calm down, everybody relax. Your kid's probably not going to be, he doesn't say it, but I'll say it. Your kid's probably not going to be him. So let's all just have some fun and enjoy the swim meets. Anyway, thoughts with the Dolan family. It was a beautiful service. Both he and his sister honored their father. You know me, I'm a mess. I cried the whole time. It's championship season.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting to the part where we're going to start crowning some champs. I asked you as we got going. Big fella over here. Pretty good. Back in the day. You won how many state titles?
2 football, 1 basketball.
And played for a baseball?
Yeah. Lost in the state championship.
Still think about it, right?
Yeah. It's the last game I ever played.
Really?
Yeah.
Sticks
in high school.
Sticks in your craw.
Oh, God.
Here's why I bring it up. Because all across the country, it's championship season. High schools, colleges, professionals. This is a very inside our circle reference. Sometimes you do something selfish. I want to do something selfish at the top, and I want to send a massive shout out to the McLean Highlanders.
Oh, yeah.
McLean Highlanders just won the Class 6 state baseball championship in Virginia. High level.
Yeah.
A lot of D1 dudes. Why do I mention it? Well, I don't know that squad, but I know one kid, and he's the guy that got the win in the state title game. His name's Jack Nance. His father is one of my best friends. In terms of my group of best friends, he's the most normal of them.
Congrats, Scott. That makes you the best.
I love my friends. It's an eccentric bunch, right? And we're way too late in life to divorce and get a new group. But my guy Nance, he's my guy. And I know how much it meant to him to see his son get that moment, because this is a high-level guy. I mean, when I was in high school, like, I was a decent pitcher.
Yeah.
I didn't throw 89. Now every kid apparently just does.
Yep.
And that's not even that's not a plus arm anymore,
No.
I guess. But he had some challenges, some ups and downs. And then as a senior, shoved repeatedly, had the ball in his hands repeatedly in big-time spots. And the reason I live vicariously through my friend, and I think back to what my mom used to tell me. She said the most nervous I ever got watching you play any sport was watching you pitch. Mm-hmm. And so, like, we got the text threads, get a text on, I think it was Saturday, it was state bleeping champs, winning pitcher, Jack Nance.
Mm.
And I think about all across the country, you've done it. You've lived it. You know what it is with a group of people to win a title. And this is the first state title they've ever had in baseball. And so you get like the videos and you see these kids talking about each other in the journey. I just think it's awesome. And I believe they beat South Lakes, and it would have been awesome if they would have won. I just don't know anyone who plays for that team.
Mm-hmm.
So it's super personal. But I think about, as parents, you just want to see your kids have a moment that they can be proud of, that's theirs, right? You're proud for them, but that they can own that. And he did, and they did. And I just think it's fantastic.
No, it's awesome. And I get it in this world that we live in with AAU basketball and AAU baseball. High school sports still, I think, are the most genuine thing we have maybe left.
Amen.
Because, like, I go back and think about, like, high school baseball is so fun because the seniors, they see the finish line. It's there. They know it's the last hurrah. They have their future.
Beach week.
Yeah, like, they have everything set. And
as
an up-and-comer, you're like, hey, I want to get up there. And to be able to play varsity as a freshman was a blast for me. Those guys brought me in. We tried to do the same thing. Hey, everybody's at school that day. Who needs a ride to practice? Freshmen are practicing. Let's bring them along. You want to try and continue the legacy of the program. It's what's awesome
about sports.
High school though, especially. People are changing. Well,
yeah, you're going through a lot
forming.
Life is changing on so many levels, and there's some guys on this team in particular that are going to keep going at the next level. But maybe that's the last big time game that he pitches. And if he does, guess what? I got the win, and we're the state champions.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, but the high school aspect of it. You're going through it every day. You see each other every day. You're at class. You're talking about who you're going to be playing. It's that in high school, the last thing of the school year. It's right there. That's why the Birmingham Southern thing, it was college, but that's a whole. But the end, the end is there. How far can you get there? And that was always the most fun I had. Was playing high school baseball. Oh God, yeah. We just it was a good group. We all played all the way through. We weren't a big private school. Everybody was from our town. It was awesome.
Shout out to the Valley and Sonia Pride. Who beat you?
East Catholic.
Son of a gun.
Yeah.
Wheaton got us. Your boy was pitching. State quarters. Couple unearned. 5-4. It's only been 100. Only been 100 years ago.
Yeah, you remember it.
I threw like 70.
Where was it?
Our place.
Oh.
It was wild. It's like I think about this. I remember I sat in the dugout and I was the last guy to leave. And I just remember I walked off and I got to the end of the field. And there's a routine to it, right? Every day it's practice. Walk into the parking lot, blah, 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 get in your car and go home, whatever. Somebody picks you up, get a ride. My guy Paul Roeder had a kick-ass truck. Sometimes he'd give me a ride home, whatever the case. I got to the end of the field and I was like, that's it. And I just remember I turned around and I just looked at the field and I was like, son of a gun, that's it.
Yeah.
And my pop was waiting for me. And I'm a sap, I think, because my dad was a sap. My dad was in tears. He was like, I did the exact same thing the last game we lost. I turn around and look at the field and you just realize that's a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
And so East Catholic got you. Wheaton got us. Nobody got the Highlanders.
No.
Shout to McLean. Shout to Jack Nance. Shout to their first ever state championship. As it's championship season, good luck to all the people around. I mean, we're winding down. I don't know how many more state championships there are even left out there. Some of the southern schools are like, we've been out of school.
We're in college.
I got all my shit in a milk crate. I'm moving into college. We've been done with high school for a month and a half. But it is championship season. Shall we talk NBA Finals?
Sure.
Well, a week ago, I said I'm looking at Boston. Why? Porzingis, game 1, scores 20. Drew in game 2 scores 26. The depth of scoring option that the Celtics have, the Mavs don't.
Mm-hmm.
And if Kyrie's not going to shoot it well, and they're not going to make threes, then they're not going to win a game. A game. I don't think that Kyrie will continue to struggle, and I don't think that they'll go 7-27 and 6 for 26 in every game from 3. But Boston, as we said, all year long, told you for 82 games, hey, we're the best team. Maybe you're bored, but just if you pay attention, if you can be bothered to pay attention just for a little bit, we're the best team. They've looked like it. Now Dallas goes home. The problem there is Boston hasn't lost on the road. I'm impressed that they haven't looked great. Their stars haven't been great. Tatum hasn't been great. He hasn't had to be because they have that luxury of depth, which is why they've been who they've been. And so, is it a wrap? Of course not. But Dallas has to win 4 or 5 games to win the title. I don't see how they do that.
No, we got to win one to get back in the series, obviously.
That's fair.
The saying of series starts when goes to the road team hosts the game. But last night really stuck out because that's a game you got to win. Boston wasn't good. I didn't think they were good enough to win, and Dallas was even worse. And Bob Meyer said it at halftime. You're here at halftime. It's this close of a game. Boston's not shooting it well. You have to find a way to get this done. And Dallas couldn't. You go down double digits, then you make your fury late. But that was Celtics more, I thought, of making mistakes and letting Dallas back in, which we have seen. I mean, talking with Legs, watching that fourth quarter, it's like, it's close enough. And when I say close enough, Dallas has won all these games in the playoff. They go back to the OKC series, the close games that they won, and then you go to the Minnesota series. It's that close. They win. I just thought that was the one that could really turn things if you could have evened it there. But just to see that opportunity, and we talk about opportunity all the time.
Yep.
You have that game 2. We know the Celtics' history, and to be that close and not get it, you got to give credit to the Celtics.
It's a 5-point game. There's a steal. Kyrie kicked to P.J. Washington. White and Brown converge at the rim and get a block that looks clean to me up top. I'm looking at the block, and I'm not looking at that left hand from Brown on the lower back of Washington. I watched it over and over and over again. Jason Kidd said afterwards he thought it was a foul, but he said they didn't call it, so it wasn't. I don't think that Brown shoves him. I just think Washington's momentum is a million miles an hour.
Everybody is.
They're going.
All 3 of those guys.
They're running as fast as they possibly can.
And that's why I almost, Legs said it too, walking out, not sure Kyrie should have gave him the ball there because he's in a no-win situation.
You know why, though? Because the 2 guys chasing you are Raptors.
Yeah.
2 absolute killers on defense. And you're going 1,000 miles an hour. It's easy sitting here in a suit to say, you know what he should have done? The Luka and one where he just stops and lets Horford run into him and makes the bucket. If Washington can gather and just stop and then jump, he's going to the line minimum. I'm not suggesting you're supposed
Luka will never be going that fast in his life.
Of course, that's what we said last week. You can't slow down a guy who's already basically stopped. I don't. The left hand's definitely on his lower back, but I don't think he pushed him.
No, I don't think it affected the play in its totality.
But if they called foul there, then it would have stood because the left hand's on him.
Yep.
And if he goes to the line and makes 2, now it's a 3-point game, and now all of a sudden Boston's kind of like, here we go. It didn't happen.
No.
And frankly, I mean, they could have stole it, but that's what they would have had to do. It would have been an absolute heist if somehow Dallas got that victory, given the way the game largely went. Luka afterwards, I mean, it's leadership, right? He's like, it's on me. I missed free throws, and he turned over, and that's why we lost the game. You had 32. It's not you, I don't think. I don't know what else he's supposed to do. He can't make these threes.
I think it's the mindset. When you're that good, that's what that's how you feel.
And you should.
Yeah.
You should. When's game 3? Wednesday?
I think next July 1st.
August?
Yeah.
4th of July weekend?
No, actually, I think there's only one day off, but we in between 3 and 4. But it's Wednesday.
Understood. So Dallas goes home, and look, your point's well taken. You win 1, and that's all it'll take for you to go, all right, we're on the board. You got to win 4 out of 5. Yeah. It's just, that feels, like a lot. Go ahead.
Got to win 1.
Got to win Wednesday.
There you go.
Or this thing is going to be real short.
Yeah.
And Luka's, the dude walked in wrapped up like a mummy.
People had the Roethlisberger pictures. That's so perfect.
Ewing was the same way. Like, Ewing would be on the bench back in the day with just, like, heating pads and, water bottles and 17 bags of ice. The Roethlisberger one's the one.
The Roethlisberger, because you knew he's still going to play. That's my favorite.
Didn't make any difference what it was.
Could have came up wrapped in as a mummy. He was going to play.
Ben's going.
He's going to let you know.
Kicks at 1 o'clock, Heinz Field. Call whatever you want. That's what we thought it was. But Boston, I don't know. They looked the part thus far. How many Porzingis have? It was double digits, I think.
12, I think.
That game 1 where he just was out of his mind. That was, and he was great with us afterwards. Reminded me of Dirk. He had the sideways
back.
He had the sideways mic cuff. Remember when Dirk post game was just incredible. He'd literally take the microphone off the stand and just sit there and hold court.
And there's nothing better than him winning the title at the press conference with the mic held like that and that abomination of a hat they gave him. If you go back and look at it, it is just
not great.
It's It's like a child's hat on a 7-footer, and Dirk, obviously with the flow he had, it looks like they had to use the old what do the girls use? Bobby pins to hold the stuff in their hair. I will never know.
No, nor will I.
No.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Dirk's aging magnificently. He
is magnificent.
He is that. One of my all-time favorites. Been doing this a long time. When he came on with me and you and Russillo and talked about playing billiards.
I got an injury.
Yeah.
Ever?
Yeah. Great times. That Dallas team won a title. This Dallas team, uphill climb. Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final is tonight as we tape on a Monday. Florida takes Game 1, 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, when I tuned into the action, I believe the shots were 25-10 Edmonton.
Yeah.
The goals were 2-0 Florida. If Bob is going to stand tall between the pipes to that degree, then Florida's winning the Stanley Cup. But I just think that group's going to test you, that Edmonton team, in ways that are, I don't know, unique, rare. There aren't many teams I feel like that can pepper you from all angles to my sort of untrained eye the way Edmonton did. But it felt massive for them to get that first one in that way, where Edmonton had, they have like 3 breakaways in the first 2 periods. They didn't score. I picked Florida to start it. I'm not going anywhere here other than that. I'm outwardly rooting for Maurice because I want him to win the title.
Understood. Yeah, same thing. Series doesn't start until we see some games in Edmonton. I will just say this. I was watching the game and thinking.
Hockey insider.
I think that scene, Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals, hockey in Sunrise, Florida, that building, which is not talked about when you talk about the best buildings, just on fire, and seeing Florida people in hockey jerseys, I think that's closer to what society is than a lot of people want to admit.
Meaning what?
Hockey in freaking Sunrise, Florida in June for the Stanley Cup. Think about when you were younger. That would never even be a thought.
No.
And they might win it.
After Tampa won a bunch.
Yeah. But Sunrise, not South Beach.
What? That's like a thing. There's a little bit of a here where we live here in the DMV. People will let you know. Look, DC and Baltimore.
Oh, don't say it.
It's oil and water. Okay, don't you stay up there.
Yeah,
we'll stay down here. We're not the same thing, even though we're near one another. And it feels like everyone wants you to know in Florida. I'm familiar with Florida. I don't know where Sunrise is.
I'm going to guess west of Lauderdale.
No idea.
But
then again, we had a map of Edmonton wrong province.
That happened.
Geography is confusing for us. All respect to Canada. We have some states in the middle that are kind of all just squares. I could get with it, be confusing. A lot of yours are just long, skinny guys. Like which one's which? Hard in the graphics to sort that out. Apologies to Edmonton. We don't do great on our show when it comes to maps. We've missed some states. I think we're supposed to know the states. Maybe the provinces, a little gray area. I don't know where Sunrise, Florida is either.
Okay,
I know that that is a good scene.
Yeah,
I mean, and are they faux fans? So what? Who cares? It's all about growing sports, right? Caitlin Clark, new fans, WNBA. You want to grow the game? They grow the game. There's a lot of people in South Florida throwing old rats. What's this for? I don't know. I think it was a team back in the day.
That area really likes to party. And
yes, they do.
If they were to win one, that parade, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, it's a very tan. It'd be a very tan parade. Game 2, Monday night. And then I'm looking forward to when it shifts to Edmonton. They do that thing where the guy's up in the crowd, he starts the anthem, and then they sing it. That's quite a scene up there as well.
Does he sing both anthems like that? Or do they have somebody on the ice do the national anthem?
I feel like all I've ever seen is him in his Edmonton jersey. I think that's the highest concentration of jersey wearers I've ever seen in any sport. Edmonton Oilers home games. I think you're mandated to wear a sweater. What you wear underneath it is entirely up to you, as we've learned on the internet. Maybe nothing, and that's fine. But
go team.
High concentration of jerseys in the crowd. Don't know if he sings. I don't think that there's any need to be up in the people singing the national anthem of our national anthem. I think he's just up there for that.
Okay.
You want to talk College World Series?
Yeah.
All right. I'll clear the deck for you. Where do you want to begin?
North Carolina, West Virginia was the best 2-game series I've ever seen, I think. It had absolutely everything. You talk about going into the lines. West Virginia's coach is retiring at the end of the year. Unbelievable scene there. Honeycutt for North Carolina, what he did in game 2. I mean, hits the walk-off in game 1. Leads first pitch of the game 2. He hits out, throws out a runner. They win 2-1. Just an unbelievable game atmosphere. West Virginia traveled really well, as they always do.
In every sport, we love those people.
And it just sticks out because I think they're the most tortured fan base in college sports, man. They just find ways to – you go back to football, basketball, there's been some brutal ones.
But here's the thing about them.
Oh, they ain't going to stop.
Thank you.
Nope.
They're like – this is going to sound like it's not a compliment, but it's a compliment. In a horror movie, like Freddy Krueger or Jason – or Michael Myers, can't kill them.
No.
And no matter what you do to them, you can't break their spirit and you can't kill them because they'll knock them down 100 times, they'll get up 101.
No doubt.
Dust themselves off. Where's a cold beer? Let's go Mountaineers. Let's go drink some beers. And what time's kickoff? What time's the jump ball? What time's first pitch?
Yep.
Mountaineer fans
love them.
Built for it.
Yes.
And someday they're going to win something big. And when they do,
look out.
You talk about a parade and sunrise, buddy, I got news for you. When the Mountaineers win a chip and something big,
they'll test every state line there is. Because they're up in their little cranny in Morgantown.
Yep.
PA's right there.
They might just annex states and just go, guess what? You know how we got those weird lines where our state? No, not anymore.
They said we're national champs.
This is ours. Remember the beach? I claim this land. We claim all of this country is ours. We won it. That's it. The whole country, now West Virginia.
I love West Virginia. Watch out, week 1.
Home game, Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
just saying? Just saying.
Little early lean from the guy who was
just
12-63 last year.
Be worth watching.
Okay. I caught the Clemson Florida game.
God.
That game, I believe, best represents what I feel the College World Series always is. Complete and utter mayhem. I don't care how good your pitching is. It's probably not going to be as good as the batters are. If you're not winning a lot of 2-1 games in this sport. And Florida, who a lot of people were like, I don't know about should they be in.
Still got pros.
And the entirety of the SEC is built for what this is. And by the way, they're NIL, you think it's just football and basketball? They got dough down there to spend that other schools just don't have. So it's not a shock that they've already got, I believe, the most teams they've ever had to go to Omaha. Florida's one of them. But that Super Regional's at Clemson. Florida takes the first game. They're leading. They just got to get the last 3 outs. Clemson hits a 3-run bomb in the 9th, ties it. Then a guy steps up. He's 0 for 6 in the 13th. He tanks one. And then Florida in the bottom of the inning comes up. I don't even think they got an out. No, they got an out on a sacrifice bunt. But then it was a bases-loaded knock.
Catch by Cam in center, too.
That was the
3-run homer.
That's the kid that hit the home run to tie. That's as good a catch as you'll ever see.
Their season is over if he doesn't make that catch.
But he does.
And, yeah, it had everything. And Clemson baseball has been a rough run. They've got pros all over the place, and they make a coaching change. Bakich comes in. Done a great job. That's a fiasco. The former coach, Leggett gets tossed, then Bakich gets tossed. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, wouldn't this be the darndest thing if Florida still wins because they still have the hammer in the bottom of the inning? And sure enough, they executed to a T. I thought Sully was great talking after the game. You know, they were bad early because they got all young pitchers. But you saw what they did. They were down.
I don't care who your pitchers are at this point.
They won two. They were facing elimination at Stillwater, which is a brutal place to play. Win that game, come back the next day and win again. Like, they have faced it, and you saw that they were very. I think Clemson was very wary of what was coming in, and Florida did it again. Man, it's just a great job by that staff.
And I want to say it's 9 consecutive super regionals they've won.
He lost his first one.
I can't fathom that, given how hard this is. And this is not. I don't pretend like I sit around and watch college baseball in the regular season. There's only so much bandwidth any of us have. I know you keep closer tabs than I, but I pay attention to this because it's entertaining as hell.
No doubt.
And it's incredible. We talk about how, like, there's a puck bounce or whatever, and how, like, a Stanley Cup playoff game, it feels like it could just be bad luck and you could lose. It seems that the pendulum of momentum swings so drastically in these super regional series, and it's a pretty quick one. You got to win. It's 2 out of 3. And for them to make 9 straight when they've had the opportunity, I have no idea how you do that, but it's certainly not luck.
No, you know what you're doing.
Clearly. Clearly.
Just going back, Florida State, really impressive, beating UConn. I think they play Carolina first game. That side's pretty stacked. A&M loses Braden Montgomery to transfer from Stanford. Brutal slide. They beat Oregon. Kentucky, super emotional last night. First time ever.
They were the only SEC team that hadn't been, and now they're check that box.
Yeah, and Oregon State tested them to the brink. But, yeah, all ACC and SEC, that's an absolute fiasco for Omaha. I'm sure the bars and restaurants will be happy.
LSU burned the city down last year. Now, I said pitching doesn't matter. They had Skeens last year.
Yeah. Didn't pitch in the final, though.
Yeah, that's true. But if you've got that guy, it's going to help you, clearly.
Anybody could win it. I'm convinced anybody can win. We didn't even mention Tennessee. They're the one.
They're the one
got
seed.
Pushed to the brink by Evansville. Shout out to Evansville. That's unbelievable what you accomplished, taking the number 1 team to the brink.
Forcing them to win an elimination game.
Unbelievable ride. But I know Tennessee's going to be the favorite, but I just think we were talking about walking out of work last night. I think that might be Tennessee's worst nightmare because everybody in the SEC has faced them. They know what they bring to the table.
So that there's less aura. It's not like you've seen it.
Yeah.
But I know you guys are really good. But I've been in
too.
Me and you. I've seen you.
Yeah.
Maybe we touched you up a little bit. We'll see. I'm just gonna say I wish that everybody could be as measured as Caitlin Clark. I wish everyone could handle the drama that surrounds her with the same level of reason and maturity that she does. Didn't make the Olympic team. Everyone's mad. Mostly online. Many of them people that said, I didn't pay attention to the sport until her, but they're mad. When you kind of are telling on yourself, and that means that you don't know whether she should be or not. You just think because she's really popular, which she is, she should be on the team. And there's a case to certainly be made for that. Friday night she played in D.C. with the Fever. 20,000 plus, largest crowd for a WNBA game in 25 years. So this century, you can say that it makes it seem bigger, but it's 25 years. And you were there the night before for Angel Reese, and that was a good crowd. It was a big crowd, but Caitlin it's just different. There is no one more popular in that sport than her in terms of bringing people and eyeballs. That's a fact. And then she was awesome against the Mystics, who haven't won a game.
No,
but Caitlin Clark was spectacular. But she is it blows my mind to be this young and this buttoned up when so much is put in front of you where she didn't even hit foul balls, man. She just makes solid contact every time. And what I mean by that is you ask a question and I think she answers it in a way that is grown up, mature, and diffuses so much of the noise that everyone is angry on her behalf, and she manages, at least outwardly, to just say, look, hardest team to make, and the points that are made that she should be on the team because she's growing the game and she's popular, that's not what the Olympic team's goal is. They, by the way, if you've not paid attention to the sport, and many of you say you hadn't until Caitlin Clark, They're 70-3 in the Olympics and have won 7 consecutive gold medals. They're good. They don't need any one player moving forward. But then if you want to have just the basketball conversation of who should or who shouldn't, it's certainly interesting to say, Diana Taurasi's 41. Is she better than Clark right now? Given the comments Diana had, you can have that conversation. But the person that I find myself, I'm not outraged, but I'd say there's a better case for a WNBA player who was a great college player, who won a national title with an iconic shot at the buzzer, Arika Ogunbowale, who averages 27 points a game, second best in the WNBA, and is left off the team.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't matter because we're not going to just have a basketball conversation. It seems that most of the noise is that she should be on the team because she's popular and you're trying to grow the game. And again, if the women's national team did that, I'd say I get it. I just find that the chatter and the anger and the outrage that seems to surround so many things that happen to her, she manages to handle with a level of maturity and class and professionalism that is just staggering to me. As impressive as she is on the floor, Steve, it's as impressive to me that she's already this solid in every moment where you could be like, man, this is bullshit. I should be on the team. And everybody be like, yeah, everyone would be behind you.
Yeah.
I think she's fantastic in every way.
No doubt. No doubt. Handle it like a true pro.
Ogunbowale has more of a case based on the on-court merit. And I hesitate to ever speak for somebody. I'm saying if it were me, after having played that season she just played, and then immediately going into the grinder of this season where they play more games than anybody, if you're telling me I didn't make it, it means I get the summer to just hang out, get in the lab, work on the craft, I'm good.
Or take a couple days off.
That's certainly been earned.
Man.
At this point. Certainly been earned. But there's no one that captivates people's attention and desire to talk about stuff quite like Caitlin Clark. And she is, as we saw in D.C., her ability to pack arenas is singular. Nobody fills them quite like she has. I have a question about horse racing.
Yeah.
Jayson Werth's horse won the Belmont.
Dornick, yeah.
That's every person's fever dream fantasy that you think, hey, you know what would be cool? We're going to buy a horse. And then it's going to win something. That's what happened?
Yeah.
Is he a horseman?
I don't know. I know he's taken on this huge liking to it because as all ex-athletes do, you got to find a vice. You got to find something to do.
An outlet for
I don't think he's 100% owner also. I think he's got the stakes. He's the face of it, obviously. He's a former Major League World Series champion, the whole nine. So I
don't know if people know. Kenny Loggins was once married in the nude.
He was.
Feels like Werth has not done any chopping of the locks.
No, he has not.
That's fine. Well, good for him. That was a Saratoga, huh?
Yeah.
That's your spot.
Yep. Didn't watch.
Whoa. Just zero interest?
Yep. Didn't have
a side?
No. Didn't even bet it.
Really?
Father-in-law was in town, hadn't been to Camden or Nats Park, wanted to go to Nats Park. Nats were playing the Braves at 4 o'clock. Decided to go to the game. If we could find it, figure it out. Ended up just bypassing, staying at the ballpark. Had a great day at the ballpark.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Take me out to the ball game.
Yeah, Saratoga is the best place
in the world.
There's rules. Travers is too much because you can't hold it. I can't imagine what it was like for the Belmont with that many people there. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. But I just didn't really have an interest. No Triple Crown on the line. Just figure I could take this one off.
Okay, I'm just asking. My consumption of that event was that I saw that Werth owned the horse. I saw the video of them jumping up and down, and I thought, what a cool deal.
Oh, God, I can't imagine.
Years and years ago, there's no way to explain it other than to say there was a man that we knew in my circles called the Super Picker.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Super Picker was the best gambler that I knew. Not like a Walters level, but like the Super Picker he was dumb like a fox. Like the Cardinals would be playing somebody and he'd be like, I kind of like the red team. That was the Cardinals. That's how the super picker would describe it. One year, the super picker had a horse that was the favorite in the Derby. And we were all in our group, we're like, wait, the super picker has a horse? It was a real thing. Did not win the Derby. I'm not going to name the horse because I don't know. The super picker's identity should be
super picker.
Super pick. And let me tell you, dude was an absolute killer. You wanted to know who the super picker liked. But I've always just looked at the sportive kings that way, that anyone could just, that had the funds.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be, not just anyone, comma, with unlimited funds could theoretically have the horse that won an event. And Werth did.
Yeah.
So salute to them. And Dornick, I was banking on you to tell me how the race went and whatever. Didn't watch it.
Nope.
I didn't either. Same reasons. I'm not a horse guy. We've covered this. But way to go, Jayson Werth. U.S. Open week. Is it time to get Gordo on the phone?
Sure.
Do you have before we get to Gordo? Gordo's going to wrap us up. Are there things that you want? Anything that when you get to?
Yeah, I wanted to say thank you to the people at the Wizards for helping out with tickets to go see the Sky play and make the kids' dreams come true. Seeing Angel Reese in the Sky play the Mystics, incredible night. Coach Mulkey was there. Was kind enough to come over, say hello to the girls. My oldest might have told her that she was the biggest LSU fan in D.C.
I believe
that made Coach smile.
And here's the thing: if this gets to Coach, that's not BS.
She knows. She knows. She gave her Go Tigers.
That's
We got the Go Tigers back, and it proved that we're true LSU fans. That they were more excited to see Coach Mulkey, I think, than anything that happened. And what a scene it was, Scott. Every Wizards player was there. Every Commanders player was there. You name it. It was awesome. They did a great job. Again, thank you to the Wizards, and that helped out with the seats to the Mystics.
And that's the pull of Angel. She, she's from Baltimore. Started at Maryland, and so has a huge presence here in the DMV and a huge fan base in this part of the world. This is where I say Baltimore and DC are like not the same, but if it's
close enough where you could go there and root.
Perfectly said,
right?
Particularly if you even if you left Maryland, which I think everyone got, you got a ton of dough in NIL to go down to LSU, and you won a chip, so it worked out pretty well.
Yeah,
but that was quite a scene because it was a huge crowd,
and the game was great, so that helped out a lot with the interest of the younger children I had at the game.
All three came by to see the studio. Thanks for that. Sorry
for the volume there.
It's they're an enthusiastic trio. Your house has got to just be.
It's so loud.
You've described it to me, and it's
so
just
loud.
I have three, and I know what it is, and I get that they were fired up. They just come from a game, so
might have set a record for popcorn.
How about like treats?
God, dessert stand,
Dippin' Dots?
No, they had what are the cookies from France?
Biscoff?
No,
that's plain cookies.
Maybe they're not. France.
Why do they have
Italy?
Cookies from France?
What are they called? Oh God, I'm gonna get killed.
Am I supposed to know this?
Yeah, it's a cookie dessert.
Tiramisu. That's not it.
No, not tiramisu.
Trifoli's or something?
No, not Trifoli's.
I'm lost.
Whatever.
Anyway, they had treats.
They had plenty. Sugar intake was not a problem.
Evidently.
So, again, thank you to the Wizards for that. Also, thank you to Kyle and the Nats for the Nats tickets this weekend. Nats Park is good, man.
Yes, it is.
It's good. It was funny. I was listening to a guy behind me. He's like, with all the beautiful things in the nation's capital, we couldn't have a view of anything, where I was just sat back and thought, I was like, yeah, well, space isn't in abundance here.
True. There's a lot of things involved.
And they've done a great job building up everything around.
That part of that stadium has totally changed that part of town in ways that are
Salt line,
massive.
Vibe, dude.
There you go. Vibes. Immaculate.
Pre-game vibe.
Also, there aren't a lot of high vertical landmarks in D.C. because you built the monument and they said you can't build anything taller than that. That's why there's nothing taller than the monument in D.C.
Look at this history guy.
Facts at bat.
One thing I hate.
It's important. Every now and then we hate something. Stanford Steve would like to tell you something he hates. What is it?
I love college baseball, probably now more than college basketball. But I hate.
Hot take.
I hate when the players don't take their sunglasses off for a night game. You don't need them, guys. They're only going to get in the way. I don't mind the eye black. It's fine. And I get it. 7 o'clock game, sun's still out, 7:30, lights are on, it's dark, 8 o'clock. Just leave the glasses in the dugout. But I start thinking, I think they're that superstitious. They got to have the sunglasses on the back of their hat.
It's the look, Steve. It's
not a great look.
You had your time, and now it's not your time.
You don't need them.
Listen,
night games, you don't need the sunglasses, guys.
College football players are there. Someone is going to wear full-on shorts. Like
they already are.
No, I'm talking. They're going to be in the middle of their thighs.
They already are.
Like OP shorts back in the day. You all don't know. You youngsters don't know about some really snug corduroy, whole thigh out OP shorts. That's what guys
wear. Tank top.
I don't think I had it. Your boy's arm game. I didn't do a ton of curls, so I didn't go with a lot of the tank tops. But let me tell you, the OP short cord game was.
Did you get into the button fly jean deal?
I mean, I think that's what they made. It was.
Those were awful.
Agreed. Just a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Why are we making things more difficult that are easy? That's not how life's supposed to work. That life's supposed to do. The cheat code should be what makes things easier. No, but see your fly, it's going to really be difficult to open it, and then it won't open, and then you run the risk of your boys falling out. Everyone's having fun, but hey, college guys, stop with the shades.
Seriously,
Stanford Steve's got your back here. He's trying to help you out.
Yeah, love you, but you don't need them.
Don't need the shades. U.S. Open week, Gordo.
Pinehurst.
Right,
you were there in 14, Keimer?
I've been to Pinehurst for several. I'll tell you this. It's as hot as I've ever been. I want to say it was 2005. It was a Monday. This is before the Golf Channel started doing live from and just voluminous hours of programming. Those are all friends. They do a phenomenal job. I just think that the Golf Channel with the U.S. Open, the ESPN with the U.S. Open kind of created the idea that we could just go do hours and hours of television and did. And there was a Monday at Pinehurst, and I think it was 2005. It's as hot as I've ever been in my life on a set. That was Michael Campbell won.
Oh, really?
Michael Campbell had the best week of his life. Campbell had a window there where he was really good, but he had the best week of his life to hold off Tiger at Pinehurst. He didn't win there, but we didn't have AC. And
what?
There was an issue. We sorted it out, and they had basically like a massive transformer that they hooked this huge, looks like a worm. You know what I'm talking about? Like one of those. It's like the size of a manhole cover, and it's like a tunnel.
And somebody would just take and put it on their face.
Let me tell you what, your boy. I had that underneath the set, aimed directly at my midsection, and when it came on. It was glorious, but there was a layer of sweat that was for me unprecedented. Levy would have died on the spot.
Okay,
Boomer they wouldn't.
Herbie,
Herbie no shot. Boomer they just would have just said no. You're not even allowed in there. We don't want to see the mess you make. But it gets steamy there in Pinehurst.
Yep.
The thing you're going to hear, Steve, upside down saucers. The greens, you've got to be really, really good with your irons, and you've got to be great getting up and down around greens.
One thing before we get to Gordo.
Okay.
Just give me an explanation of covering a U.S. Open pre-Tiger compared to now.
I think what ESPN started doing when they started doing like the hour-long shows and then the nighttime shows, that preceded Woods.
Yeah.
But Tiger, and it wasn't even 97 where everything went completely ballistic. It was really like 2000, 2001.
That's what I'm saying. Like before, like, because it's a U.S. Open, man. You know? Like,
well, listen, the thing that it was such a brutal week of just you were there when the sun came up, and you were there. One year they were doing a post game highlight show that followed a Stanley Cup playoff,
man.
And they were live on the air at 2:30 in the morning. And it was back when there was the go.com, and Boomer's famous line was go.com, go to bed. And then we were on the next morning. It was like 4 hours later. It was just the volume of coverage was insane. But you know what? We work with Andy, who won it twice.
Yeah.
We work with Curtis, who won it twice.
Exactly.
And there's such an appreciation for how hard it is. When we started talking about how, like, winning a state title and what that is, you got a team. This is just you. And it is a grind, and it's the hardest test in golf. And many times it's just a matter of survival, war of attrition, whatever. My guy North figured it out a couple times, man. And he didn't win a ton, but he won the hardest one twice. And so did Curtis. And so as a group, we just have still do. I say it's not past tense, but when we covered it, there's just such a level of appreciation for wanting to cover it well, wanting to treat the venues, the event, and the competitors with a level of respect.
Yeah.
This is a national championship. And if you win it, you're going to earn it, brother. You're going to earn it. And so I don't know that, Tiger added to the tonnage of coverage because he was going to be a story whether he was leading or not. But I miss it, man. We don't have the event anymore, and Fox got it, and now it's back with NBC and the Golf Channel, and it'll be a blast to watch them work. I miss it. I mean, I loved going and covering these weeks. I mean, it's not unlike what we did with the PGA Championship. Same idea, and we cover that one, I hope, with the same level of importance. And you can't work harder than that crew does. You've seen it up close.
God, no.
Can't work harder.
No.
Well, that's all McQuaid, who I've talked about here on the show, and our group. Everybody just follows his lead. But those U.S. Open shows there was one reporter one year, it doesn't matter who, but reached a point where the reporter basically just told our guy, that'll do it. 22nd, let's make it a full. Actually, like Randy Watson, I am out. And our boss understood that it's a week that could break you, and it has. So
yeah, I saw the schedule for NBC. Sansi and the boys buckle up,
and they'll be great. They'll be great. Gordo better be great this week.
Whoa,
better be great.
Whoa,
was on with us from the PGA Championship, touting the record, double hammers.
A little pressure.
Tension.
Let's just assess. Tension?
Tension.
Right?
That's the
U.S.
word.
Open tension.
Let's go. Tension.
Let's go 1 to 10 on the just stress meter right now as we're asking you. This is a little earlier than we would ask you to put the pencil down and be finished with the work.
Yep. Happy to do it, though. Steve just said if you got to pull an all-nighter, you got to pull an all-nighter.
You just played you just were there. Now, you didn't get to play number 2, obviously, because they got it shut down. We're hosting a national championship, but you were there just trying to glean whatever info you could from the dirt.
They didn't even let me walk the course. Obviously, it was closed. I went with my dad after the week of PGA, and we played 8 and 9, which were some of the best courses I've ever seen. Played the Cradle, the fun little short par 3 course, and then had a couple meals at that Payne's Pub patio right behind 18 Green. And the course was closed, and I was like, well, it's closed to play, but maybe I can just walk a couple holes, see what it's like.
You heard of the double hammer? I'm the guy.
Yeah, 0-1 in 24.
And there were some guys. That were there for some practice rounds, doing some recon, and I wasn't able to be conspicuous enough to do that, which is fine. I'm not sure how much I would have grabbed, but tension's pretty low right now. We're really bummed about Max. Who, T35, and I thought Steve put it well. What was it? The difference between tension and intensity? We were very tense in that booth. Well, that's part of it. Like, with the 14 hours, like you guys have talked about in the booth, the Scheffler situation. Like, it was just a tense week. This week, as much as I wish we were right back in it, showing a lot of golf, having a great week, I'm very excited to have the feet up and just enjoy golf.
Without a doubt. And national championship, hopefully it's great. It wasn't the last time I was here, only because Martin Keimer was that good. Every now and then somebody just runs away and hides in a major, and he for all intents and purposes did, because he played better by a lot than anyone else when he won here. But I described it. It's the upside down saucers. I don't love it because of that. My beef with golf courses that don't reward great shots is just that. I don't love when the whims of a roll. You might hit what feels like an excellent shot, but then the green just rolls away front and back, and if it doesn't stop in exactly the right spot, then you're kind of screwed. Your argument could be, well, then hit it right. Well, you're talking about the thinnest of margins and incredibly exacting yardages and places balls have to stop on some of these greens. That's why it's never been my favorite.
Could you say the same thing about Augusta?
I don't. And it's a reasonable response. I think the difference is the margins at Augusta every hole seems to have a slot on the green, 16 pin Sunday. You know where you got to hit it. And if you get the correct trajectory, thank you, to find the undulation, these are the key buzzwords as we know, Gordo, then that ball's going to funnel, and the crowd's going to roar, and we never know. You're going to hit. It's going to end up good. If you don't, you'll be punished. My beef with a lot of these greens at Pinehurst is it feels like all you have are swales that repel shots away from the pin. Whereas Augusta, I feel like many times the undulation on the greens is a friend if you know how to use it. And I mean, look, the number this week figures to be nowhere near what the number at Augusta is. Augusta's a very different golf course and a very different test than Pinehurst. But it's an American treasure. It's just not my favorite for that particular reason. I would say the comparison I make more to Pinehurst, Gordo, is links golf. I feel like a lot of times in links golf, you can hit a perfect shot and it rolls forever because the fairways are baked out. You end up in a pot bunker, and like it's just incredibly horrible luck.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Know? I mean, so that's how I'd say it. But I mean, if we're prioritizing most important things to do well at Pinehurst, you start where?
I start off the tee where you got to be in the fairway so that you can attack the tiny landing zones, which is where I kind of see a little bit of the comp to Augusta is the landing zones. You have very specific spots on the green. And then I go to scrambling. Like I go right from your tee shot to scrambling, because Keimer didn't lead the field in greens and regulation in 2014. Neither did Campbell. They both hit some awesome shots and then scrambled incredibly the whole week. So
which you have to do.
And it's hard to do that because of the saucer greens. Like it's not like an easy course to get up and down at. So you gotta have your wizardry around the green game this week.
All right. Speaking of wizardry, 7,550 yards, par 70.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about plants, but I was reading they planted 50,000 pine blossoms. They said don't say weeds, they're pine blossoms, to give you more stuff to work with and be harder to scramble. All right, who we firing? Props, top 10s, top 20s. I know you are no matter what you say, you are affected with the outcome at Augusta. I know it. We're going to move past that. But what do you got for us?
So this is like one of the most interesting cards I've ever assembled.
Exotics, come on.
It'll be we'll tweak it for Wednesday, but we've got like 90% of the thing.
Hold on just a second. You can tweak it for Wednesday,
yes.
But just like the guy at Augusta that I gave him a Spieth that you then changed, and then the guy's hassling me later in the week. Like, you could change it. People can follow Gordo, but for the folks that are listeners to the pod, this is we're putting this in a Sharpie, my man. This is going on the card, and we're turning this into the commissioner.
Absolutely. This is, yes.
All right.
We actually...
You can tweak your tweets all you want.
Yeah.
We feel a lot better about this week's hammer than Max on Monday, because I know we had seen him hit some pretty bad drives on the range. But anyways, and before I go into this, has Scott given his pick yet, or we're waiting on that?
I mean, I'm halfway to the slam, all due respect. I gave out Scheffler at Augusta, gave out I'll give you the winner right now if you like. It's Colin Morikawa.
I don't hate it.
To get leg number 3 of the slam. He's already won the PGA. He's already won the Open. If he gets this, he's one away from the slam. It's similar to Xander in this way, Gordo. Xander played very well at Quail Hollow, didn't quite get there. Colin played very well at Jack's Place, which was playing incredibly difficult, didn't quite get there. But I worry a little bit about the up and down, but he was excellent getting up and down at Valhalla. Very different golf course. But I think you're talking about his iron shots. He can find those landing zones. Give me Morikawa, your winner of the U.S. Open. Bang.
Colin Morikawa is actually hitting it better off the tee than Scheffler since the Masters. So that was a little surprising to me. The approach, not so much, but there's a lot going in Colin's favor. He is also part of the double hammer this week. It is a two-leg parlay.
Oh my God!
A one-of-a-kind special.
The double hammer has turned into a parlay.
A one-of-a-kind situation.
Did you see what the? Never mind. Go ahead.
He's parlaying a double hammer.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
All right. Well, here's the deal. I'm only betting on Scheffler to win by at least 3, which is 6-1, and Zalatoris at 100-1. Those are my only 2 outright bets. I'd love Colin.
Not Zalatoris by 3.
No. Zalatoris to win, okay. He's 100-1 right now, which is just, okay. I believe in the guy. And I think Scott and I talked about this. Like, if you just, sure, if somebody's been struggling the last month or so, don't just forget about them. Don't throw them away. If you believe in a player, I think you should stick with them. That's why I'm playing Sepp Straka FRL again this week. We were talking him up.
One Sepp Straka, number 1 Sepp Straka.
Talking him up at the PGA. He didn't play well. He ended up missing the cut. But don't forget about a guy just because he had one bad week. And I know Zalatoris shot like 77 yesterday at Muirfield Village. I don't care.
Lowry shot 85. Yeah. It was incredibly difficult. I don't know what they did, but it was hard as hell.
Cam Smith shot 80 in Houston. Still playing him top 20 plus 160. And then we talk about this at the Open, how Thursday morning there's going to be some Henny Otto Tom Lewis guy that's
SK Ho. He led the Open one year. I didn't know who it was.
It also happens here. It doesn't really happen at the Masters.
For sure.
And it definitely doesn't happen at the PGA because there's no amateurs. So but don't forget that happens at this event, and there's 2 guys that are in college right now. There's a sophomore at Auburn named Brendan Valdez.
National champion.
20-1 to be in the top 10 after the first round. 250-1 FRL. And then Luke Clanton, Florida State guy, who won the North and South Amateur at Pinehurst in 2022, shot 64 at Pinehurst number 2 in the final round to win. 250-1 FRL, 16-1 top 10 after round 1. Those are the type of props that are going to be filling up this card because I'm only taking Scheffler by at least 3 or Zalatoris to win.
Okay, and so we got some high return, high get back FRL possibilities. Someone's name is going to be on top of that leaderboard early that you go, wait, who?
Luke Clanton.
I remember one year saying in our big meeting, Tommy Roy, who's the man in charge for NBC, I said, look, we all know that at some point Soren Kjeldson's going to be 4 under and leading. and I'll be damned if he wasn't. It was very early in the coverage. It was Pebble. He said, Scott, go ahead. I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, Soren Kjeldsen is 400 par and leading the U.S. Open. That's going to happen. But can you get your FRL? All right, so those are the exotics. Those are the people that are on the card for the winner. But you're telling us that there's a double hammer exotic.
There is. It is a top 40 two-leg parlay.
All right.
Colin Morikawa is minus 320. We're parlaying him to get back to plus 105 with a guy who's got 7 straight top 40s on tour this season and 3 of the last 4 U.S. Opens. He's played here before. He's quietly, his floor is quietly among the highest. Colin Morikawa, Russell Henley, top 40 parlay, plus 105, multiple hammers. See you on Sunday.
Wow.
All right. A couple things.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
You go.
No.
What was another possibility?
Is a lot like Valhalla. I still love Cam Smith. I don't care that he shot 80 at some event yesterday in Houston.
Okay.
Because you Xander top 20 you liked, but it was minus money.
Correct. It was minus 150.
Valhalla, and you didn't go with that, and you went with Max, and then you walked the entire 18, sweating like an animal, dipping like an absolute machine.
It'll be an easier week on my gums this week for sure.
Understood.
Okay.
I just would observe one thing here. When your boy was in college and was having a rough weekend, which was a lot, inevitably what would happen is if I felt stress and I felt pressure, I thought to myself, you know what I'll do, Steve? I'll just tease something. Can't lose, right?
Teasers never lose.
Never lose. That's a proven fact. That's a joke. There's bookies that put their kids through college just with parlays and teasers. But I feel like maybe this parlay double hammer feels like me teasing the Seahawks and the Raiders in the late window. Because there's a faint whiff of desperation that you can't like you said, you can't give up on a guy just because he had one bad week.
Mm-hmm.
That was your message about Sepp Straka. Mm-hmm. I'm saying, Gordo, the stats are the stats. I mean, it was 14-3 before the PGA. Am I right?
That's correct.
So now it's 14-4.
We're trying to get to 16-4. We're trying to get to 16-4. It does feel like 15-3 would have been significantly better than 14-4. But look, that 14-4 is up 154 units.
Bang. There you go. That's just
don't ask me where those units go in the fall, but that's a different story.
That's unrelated.
That's what we all say.
It's fine. So, all right. Gordo's double hammer, top 40 parlay, Morikawa, who's my pick to win, with
Russell
Henley, who he's been a cut making
machine.
Yep. I like that. That feels good to me, Gordo.
I know what you're saying about the teasers too. You're going to have a multiple sweat. You're just going to be sweating both guys, just like you're sweating multiple games in the teaser. Morikawa should, he'll probably finish he'll probably hit, 280 total strokes this week, and I would assume he'll be inside the top 40 for at least 260 of them. Henley may be a little bit more of a sweat. We'll see.
Just managing expectation.
Do you have make and miss the cut lines in front of you?
They're not up yet at this hour on Monday.
I know. That's why I was. Well, and that's my favorite thing to do in U.S. Open is take all the biggest, take top 6 plus prices.
Miss the cut.
To miss the cut, it's going to be, Scheffler, Rahm, Rory, those guys. Dabble in those. Those are fun because U.S. Opens, you could have a winner by the first day.
And that's a 2-day sweat, which is almost as fun as the 1-day FRL position after round 1.
Can I talk you into a live golfer winning the event at plus 380?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I'm going back on that
Absolutely.
one. I had that in PGA.
Cam Smith, not down on him after finishing 63rd at the PGA. Short game is just incredible. And There is not a single drop of rain in the forecast. It is going to be as firm as it could possibly play.
I don't know if this is one word or two word, but I'll tell you what it is in the forecast: swamp ass. All right, there is going to be such significant swamp ass and chafing, and Gold Bond is an absolute necessity for the caddies and the players and anyone just walking the grounds. It's going to be it's steamy. It's a steamy.
You just have tubs of it in the locker room.
Yeah,
Those giant.
Yeah, just handing them out like hospitality. It's going to be very necessary. Gordo, I appreciate you joining us. It's a Monday. You had to ramp up the proprietary algorithms, and we appreciate that very much.
And then your official card will be released on Twitter at DGordTweets
Wednesday,
noon Eastern.
But this is the double hammer. You cannot change
Morikawa, Henley, top 40 plus 105.
There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Gordo.
Thanks, Gordo. You look great. I wish you had more confidence.
See you guys.
That's a good home office setup. We love that. All right, Gordo. Be well. Appreciate you.
We got breaking news.
All right, breaking news on the podcast.
Danny Hurley.
Oh.
What do you think he did?
This is awesome. I think, in the immortal words of one of our favorite movie characters, what was his name in real life? Wolf of Wall Street.
Leonardo DiCaprio?
Who'd he play? What's the guy's name?
Oh, I don't know.
Come on.
Jordan.
Jordan Belfort.
Jordan Belfort.
In the immortal words of Jordan Belfort. You know what? I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving!
You're right.
He's staying at UConn.
He's staying.
Wow. That makes sense to me for the reason that I said on SportsCenter. This is a guy who grinds out every half-court possession against a Butler or DePaul or Creighton or Nova or title games, whatever. Every half court is like it's a journey for him, and it's going to take him to dark places. And I'm just picturing it's a February night. You've played 5 and 7. You're in Memphis. Dudes have mentally sort of checked out, and you're trying to draw up a set. And guys like, nah, you know what, Coach? No, we're good, man. We're probably good. We're not going to not try, but we're not as invested as you are. I just thought the grind of that would eat him alive. And I think it's just like Billy Donovan. Billy Donovan won 2 in a row at Florida, took the Orlando job, then said, you know what? I'm a college coach. And he was, until he wasn't, and he went to OKC. Hurley will go to the pros. He hates the portal. At some point, they won't win every single year, but I guessed that because I guessed that right now in his life, when he said on somebody's podcast, you know, I just need to mature before I'll be ready. I need to mature a little bit before I'll be ready for that. Do you have any quotes associated with this?
Yes. Turned down 6 years, $70 million.
And he turned down Manhattan Beach with Russillo.
Yeah, he did.
Did he give a reason why? I didn't want to be
same thing. Compelling case, presenting a compelling vision. Extremely impressed with Pelinka and Buss.
However, don't try to be happier than happy.
Everybody in college basketball is upset.
They're upset?
Yeah.
They wanted him to go?
Yeah.
Why? Because he wins every year?
Yeah.
Sport's better with him, man. Sport's better with him, and the sport's better with them. It's cowherd line. Don't try to be happier than happy. Good for him for knowing right now this is, you know, I'm not chasing it. You're surprised?
No to the Lakers. That's what I'm more like. That
saying yes to stores. And
shout out Connecticut. Big win for Connecticut.
Yeah, Stop and Shop. What's up? West Hartford Square. Love it.
Staying.
I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave all that stuff alone. I enjoyed my time in Connecticut, but I came home. It was a different deal. I'm not leaving.
Nope.
Get the lewds. What's your favorite scene in Wolf of Wall Street? When he
first sits down at the diner and he's asking, how much money you make? He's like, I got a check for, what is it, 80,000?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. That whole thing, and then they go in the back and smoke whatever. It's like these two guys.
When he took the third lemon and just turned into
God.
Now that's just pratfall stuff. No, there's better scenes than that.
But the ability to like actually do that crawling scene, that he should have won for that.
But he won for the bear, didn't he?
Yeah.
Do you win?
Revenant?
Yeah, you win for the Revenant. Do you sometimes do you win for stuff you should have won for earlier? You know what I mean? Like he probably should have won for that, but he didn't. Let's give it to him for this bear one.
I'm sure that's what happened there.
Maybe that'll happen. Maybe that'll happen for the Emmy someday for your boy.
It's great every time. Every time you watch Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like the scene where the guy's like, "Yeah, sell me some. Yeah, I need you to write something down. I don't have a pencil. There you go." He goes to sell him a pencil.
Yeah.
What a great line. Anyway, get the lewds. That's the scene where the boat sinks. Margot Robbie in that, by the way, just goodness gracious,
brings it.
Yes, she does. The Duchess of Bay Ridge or whatever she was. From Gordo to that, breaking news, double hammers.
What else you want? We got a meet this week.
We got time trials. What day's the meet?
Wednesday.
Go get them, Sun Devils.
Yeah.
All right, so coming next week, updates on the Sun Devils.
We had some we had time trials Saturday.
How'd that go?
We had some, I'll call them anxiety tears.
It happens.
Super nervous. We got like 200 swimmers on our team. It's the majors.
Okay.
We got in there and
swam as fast as we could?
Yeah. Wifey went back and checked the last times from last summer. Improvements. That's all I ask. Keep getting better.
Best swimmer I know is where we started the show. I'll close with Tom Dolan and paraphrase some of the message from his eulogy of his pop. He talked about message he got from his dad back in the day. Keep striving, keep smiling, keep praying. Keep doing all three things. Things tend to work out. So that's a good one for all of us. She dove in and swam fast, huh?
Both
did her best.
Both.
Love that.
Yeah.
Keep striving, keep smiling, keep praying. In the meantime, we'll see you on SportsCenter, and we'll see you back here next week. SVPod. For Stanford Steve, I'm Scott Van Pelt. Have a good week.